It was a quiet morning on Earth, the kind of morning where people were busy with their normal lives. In Karachi, Mira Khan sat inside the Global Crisis Response Center, sipping cold tea and checking routine reports. Nothing unusual, just weather alerts, ocean waves rising in the Pacific, and a few minor earthquakes. Life felt normal. But normal ended at 9:42 a.m. A loud alarm flashed across the giant screen in front of Mira. The entire room turned red. Satellites sent an emergency signal. Unidentified objects entering Earth's orbit. At first, Mira thought it was a mistake, maybe a glitch. But the images kept coming. Hundreds of unknown ships, huge and dark, were breaking through Earth's upper atmosphere. Their shape was nothing like human spacecraft. They looked alive, organic, curved like giant metal whales in space. The world froze. Within minutes, every country received the alert. People ran out of offices, schools, markets, looking up at the strange shadows covering the sky. Some screamed, some recorded videos, some prayed. Fear spread faster than clouds. On the news, anchors shouted the same thing again and again. Is Earth under attack? Is this an invasion? But the ships did not attack. They did something stranger. At 10:03 a.m., the first carrier ship opened its belly like a giant steel flower. A glowing blue light flashed. Then objects started falling out of the ship, thousands of small pods, dropping toward cities, oceans, forests, deserts. Mira zoomed in on the satellite feed. Her breath stopped. The pods were not weapons. They were escape capsules. Inside each capsule was an alien. Thin, weak, starving, injured aliens. Some looked like humans with longer limbs. Others had scales, feathers, or glowing eyes. Many were barely alive. Some were children. Mira whispered, "Ya'Allah, what is happening?" The room filled with scientists, generals, and ministers who had rushed in after the alert. Everyone talked at the same time. Is this biological warfare? Are these test subjects? Why are they sending bodies to Earth? The director finally silenced the room. Open the broadcast from the alien ship. They are transmitting something. Static crackled. A deep voice echoed through every speaker on the planet. Humans, you have been chosen for punishment. We deliver to you 6 million refugees, traitors to our empire. You may keep them or let them die. Your planet will collapse under the weight of their need. This is a cost of defying us. Then the message ended. The world went silent. 6 million refugees. Not humans, not earthlings. 6 million beings from different worlds. This was not a gift. It was not mercy. It was punishment. Mira stared at the screen, showing oceans filled with floating capsules, deserts scattered with bodies, cities overwhelmed with strange shapes lying on streets. A second ship opened, then a third. Hundreds more. The alien empire meant to break Earth by drowning it with people it could not feed, shelter, or cure. They expected chaos. They expected hatred. They expected humans to push the refugees away. But something happened that no one predicted. The first act of compassion. A small fisherman boat near Gwadar spotted a capsule in the sea. Inside was a trembling alien child with purple skin and golden eyes. She was freezing, unable to speak. The fisherman did not run away. He did not fear her. He removed his own warm shawl and wrapped her inside it. Then he lifted her like she was his own daughter. News cameras captured the moment. In Manila, a nurse saw an alien mother collapsing near the road. Without thinking, she rushed forward and checked her pulse like it was any normal patient. She carried her on a stretcher to the hospital. In a village in Kenya, a farmer found an injured alien soldier. The soldier tried to speak, but his chest was bleeding. The farmer put pressure on the wound and said, "You are safe. No one will hurt you here." All over the world, millions of humans did the same. They opened doors. They brought water, blankets, medicine. They ignored the fear, the warning, the threat. Mira watched the global feed. Tears rose in her eyes. "This is not punishment," she said softly. "This is a test, and humanity is passing." The alien empire was still watching from orbit, waiting to see Earth fail. But instead of anger, Earth answered with kindness. Mira took control of the microphone. Her voice shook but remained steady. To all volunteers across the world, activate crisis shelters, open medical centers, build temporary camps. These refugees are now under our protection. Her words spread across continents. Firefighters, teachers, doctors, students, soldiers, everyone stepped forward. In just 1 hour, Earth changed. Not because of war, not because of force, but because ordinary humans cared. Mira looked once more at the sky, where the alien ships floated like dark clouds. They wanted us to suffer, she whispered, but they forgot who humans really are. Night had fallen on Earth, but the sky was still glowing with the light of alien ships. Even after 12 hours, the giant Empire fleet stayed in low orbit, watching everything humans were doing. It was like they were waiting for Earth to fail. But Earth was not failing. The real problem was something else. Something Mira noticed before anyone else. In the Global Crisis Center, Mira stared at the tracking data on her screens. The refugee capsules were falling slower now, not because the Empire stopped, but because the ships were running out of power. Their engines flickered like dying stars. These ships are damaged, Mira whispered. They are barely staying in orbit. Her colleague, Captain Rehan Malik, frowned. Who damages a fleet this big? Mira did not know the answer, but someone else did. At Camp Horizon, one of Earth's largest emergency shelters built near the coast, thousands of alien refugees were receiving care. Doctors, volunteers, students, everyone was working without sleep. The entire place glowed with soft lights and soft voices. A young alien girl with silver hair kept asking for someone named Taylor. Who is Taylor? A volunteer doctor asked gently. The girl pointed at the sky. He was leader. He protected us. He said he must reach someone important on this planet. Someone important? Who? The doctor asked. The girl touched her chest. A human. No one understood her words, but she repeated the same thing to every person who helped her. He must find the human, the one who changes everything. Meanwhile, Mira received a priority call from Camp Horizon. There's one refugee you must see, the doctor said. He keeps asking for someone in your department. Mira drove through the night to the camp. The air smelled of salt and campfire smoke. Families slept in tents, humans and aliens side by side. Children played gently with alien kids, sharing biscuits and warm clothes. The scene almost looked peaceful until Mira reached the medical tent. Inside, an injured alien warrior lay on a stretcher. His body was covered in dark marks, like he survived explosions. His breathing was heavy. His eyes, bright blue, glowing faintly, followed Mira as she entered. This is the one, the doctor whispered. He told us your name before we even said it. Mira froze. How does he know me? The doctor shook his head. He says he came with a message only for you. Mira approached the warrior carefully. What is your name? The alien tried to sit up, but gasped in pain. My name is Taylor. Mira felt her heartbeat stop for a second. This was the same name the children repeated. Taylor lifted his shaking hand toward her. You are Mira Khan, he said in a broken voice. You are the one the Empire fears. Mira stepped back, shocked. Me? Why? I'm just a coordinator. No, Taylor whispered. You are the one who made the first call. The one who told humans. Protect the refugees. He swallowed hard. The Empire did not expect kindness. Your words spread faster than their cruelty. They believe you're the reason Earth did not collapse. Mira whispered, That's impossible. Taylor shook his head. The Empire's plan was simple. Overwhelm your world with millions who need help. They thought your people would hate us, fight us, push us away. He looked directly into Myra's eyes. But your people did the opposite. Mira felt a mix of fear and pride. Humans doing good had terrified the most powerful empire in the galaxy. But Taylor wasn't finished. The Empire is scared. When tyrants fear something, they destroy it. Myra's breath caught in her throat. What are you saying? Taylor glanced at the sky, at the broken fleet drifting above Earth. The ships above, they are not watching. They are waiting. Waiting for what? Mira asked. Taylor spoke the words that changed everything. For reinforcements. This is only the first wave. Mira felt her legs weaken. How many more are coming? Taylor closed his eyes. Enough to crush Earth unless we stop them before they arrive. Mira stared at him in silence. And how do we stop them? Taylor slowly reached for a small metal device tied around his arm, a glowing band with symbols Mira had never seen. This contains everything, he whispered. Maps of their empire, codes of their fleet, weak points of their capital, and the truth of why they are afraid of humans. Mira gently held the device, realizing she now carried the fate of Earth. Before fainting, Taylor said one last line. You are not being punished, Mira. You are being tested. And the galaxy is watching how humans answer. The next morning, Earth felt different, not because of fear, but because of unity. The sun rose over a world that had stayed awake all night. Every street, every school, every mosque, every church, every small home, people were doing something. Cooking food for refugees, making blankets, setting up small tents, carrying wounded aliens to hospitals. From space, Earth no longer looked like a planet in crisis. It looked like a planet working together. Mira stood on the balcony of the Global Crisis Center, watching trucks move across Karachi's coastal highway. Each truck carried supplies, medicine, water, solar heaters, clothing. Students from universities walked beside the trucks, guiding incoming refugees. Volunteers handed out warm tea and bread. Humanity had not panicked. Humanity had not collapsed. Humanity had not turned cruel. It had done the opposite. But Mira could feel something heavy in the air, a tension like the calm before a storm. Captain Rayhan walked beside her. You barely slept, he said. No one slept, she replied. He nodded, then handed her a tablet. You need to see this. Mira opened the file. Her eyes widened. Across the world, 9 different refugee camps reported the same thing. The refugees were speaking the same message. They all repeated one sentence. We were told humans are monsters, but we found kindness. In the recorded videos, alien elders cried with trembling voices. Young alien children held the hands of human volunteers. Even alien soldiers broke down emotionally, confused by the compassion humans were showing. Mira whispered, They were lied to about us. Rayhan replied, Their empire told them Earth was a savage world, a place of hate. But they found hope instead, Mira said softly. She didn't know that her words were already becoming part of the global news. Suddenly, a sharp alarm echoed through the building. Another alert. Another crisis. Mira and Rayhan ran inside the command room. A giant hologram appeared in the center, Earth surrounded by alien ships. But the ships looked even more unstable now. Their hulls were cracked. Some engines had died. A scientist shouted, The Empire fleet is losing more power. They cannot hold orbit much longer. Another added, If they fall, they will crash into the ocean or cities. Before Mira could respond, the hologram zoomed into a new transmission. The Empire had sent a message, cold, cruel, metallic. Humans, your kindness is weakness. Your compassion is failure. You will break. But the message did something unexpected. It did not scare Earth. It angered Earth. For the first time in history, the entire planet spoke the same emotional language. Doctors in London froze. Teachers in Mexico clenched their fists. A group of Muslim women in Lahore who were serving food to refugees looked at the sky with fire in their eyes. Humanity was not cruel, but humanity was not weak. Mira stepped forward and pressed the global microphone. Her voice was steady, clear, unforgiving. Listen to me. The alien empire wants us to hate. They want us to reject the refugees. They want us to become monsters so they can say they were right. She paused. But we refuse. Her voice echoed across radios, phones, TV screens, and thousands of refugee camps. We refuse to bow. We refuse to hate. We refuse to become like them. Her next line became the most replayed sentence in human history. Kindness is not weakness. It is our strength. Millions of humans cheered. Aliens watching from shelters cried. Even Taylor, lying on a medical bed, whispered, This is why they fear you. But the Empire wasn't done. A new symbol appeared on Myra's screen, a massive warship moving toward Earth. Its size was 10 times bigger than the refugee carriers. Its silhouette was sharp, intimidating, built for destruction. Rayhan paled. That's a Punisher-class dreadnought. It can destroy a continent. But the dreadnought didn't attack. Instead, it projected a wideband signal that reached every device on Earth. An Empire commander with four burning eyes appeared. Humans, your defiance has been noted. Return the refugees, or we will burn your world. A hush fell across the room. Then something unexpected happened. Before Mira could respond, a voice came from the back of the command center, a young nurse who had come to deliver a medical update. She whispered words that everyone heard. Tell them to come and try. The room froze. She covered her mouth, embarrassed. But Rayhan stepped forward and repeated her words loudly. Tell them to come and try. Mira felt something rise inside her. Courage she didn't know she had. She walked to the microphone and delivered Earth's message. You punished us with 6 million souls. Instead of cruelty, we showed compassion. Instead of hate, we showed help. Instead of fear, we showed courage. She leaned closer. And now we will protect them, at any cost. The Empire commander snarled, furious. But humanity had spoken. Earth had united. And kindness had become a shield stronger than any weapon. This was the moment the galaxy realized. Humanity does not bow. Humanity rises. For 2 days, Earth breathed under a silent sky. The Empire fleet hovered above like wounded predators. Broken engines, cracked armor, lights fading. They were clearly damaged, but they still carried enough power to destroy continents if they chose to. Everyone on Earth knew this. And yet, not a single human stopped helping the refugees. Hospitals overflowed, but no one complained. Shelters became small cities, but volunteers kept coming. Scientists worked without sleep, studying strange medicines and food needs of 9 alien species. Every act of kindness confused the Empire even more. But on the 3rd night, everything changed. Mira was in the crisis center, her eyes red from exhaustion. She was reviewing supply numbers when the global alarm suddenly turned purple, a color she had never seen before. Purple meant cosmic threat. New signal from orbit, a technician shouted. It's coming from the largest Empire battleship. Mira ran to the central screen. Rayhan followed, fear tightening his jaw. A glowing symbol appeared, sharp, ancient, carved like a star with claws. Taylor, watching from his medical bed through a live feed, instantly recognized it. His voice trembled. That is the seal of judgment. The Empire has chosen to punish you directly. Before Mira could react, the transmission began. An enormous hologram burst into the sky above every major city. People came out of their homes, markets, mosques, hospitals, shelters, staring upward in fear. The Empire commander appeared again, but this time he was wearing ceremonial armor made of black bones. His 4 glowing eyes scanned the planet. Humans, he thundered, your compassion is a disease. The words echoed across mountains and oceans. You were given a burden meant to break you. Instead, you embraced it. You sheltered our traitors. You healed them. You fed them. You defied us. Mira tightened her fists. Rayhan muttered, here it comes. The commander continued. Earth has failed to collapse, so we will collapse it ourselves. For a full second, the world stopped breathing. Mothers hugged their children. Refugees trembled. Even the wind seemed to freeze. Then the commander raised one long, clawed hand. A massive shadow appeared behind him. The silhouette of another fleet, far larger, far stronger, preparing to jump through hyperspace. Myra's heart dropped. Taylor was right, she whispered. This was only the first wave. Rayhan swallowed. If that fleet arrives, Earth won't survive the first hour. But something strange happened in that moment. The refugees started moving. Across all 9 global camps, refugees, weak, injured, starving, stood together like they had all heard a silent call. Alien elders looked at one another with determination. Soldiers who could barely stand used sticks for support. Young alien children grabbed hands, forming long chains. It was Taylor's people who spoke first. We will not hide, an elderly alien woman said. You humans saved us. Now we stand with you. At first, only a handful joined her, but within minutes, hundreds, then thousands, then hundreds of thousands of refugees raised their hands toward the sky, not in fear, in defiance. A volunteer in India recorded the moment live. Look at them, they're not running. They're standing with us. The video went viral in 15 minutes. By the time Mira reached the balcony of the crisis center, the streets below were filled with humans and aliens standing shoulder to shoulder, like one giant species. Humanity had refused to bow. Now the refugees refused too. But the Empire commander only laughed. You think unity will save you? We have destroyed planets with more strength than yours. Mira stepped forward, her voice cold and steady. Then you will learn something new today. The commander tilted his head. And what is that? Mira raised her chin. Humans don't run. Humans don't abandon. And humans don't break. Her next line shook the galaxy. If you want the refugees, come and take them. A ripple shot to the Empire fleets. Shock, anger, disbelief. The commander's face twisted. Then prepare humans. Your fire ends tonight. The hologram vanished. Seconds later, the sky above her split with a deafening crack as the enemy reinforcement fleet began to tear open space. Refugees screamed. Children cried. Military bases braced for impact. Cities powered down lights to prepare for attack. Humanity had challenged the galactic empire, and the empire had answered. But something else was happening too, something unseen by the empire. In the shadows of Camp Horizon, Taylor whispered to Mira over comms. Don't fear. The empire believes only they have surprise. Mira frowned. What do you mean? Taylor smiled weakly. They forget. They did not bring only refugees to Earth. Myra's blood ran cold. What else did they bring? Taylor closed his glowing eyes. Rebels, scientists, pilots, defectors, weapons they tried to erase. He took a shaky breath. And we are ready. The night sky shook again as the first enemy reinforcements broke through hyperspace. But this time, Earth was not alone. The humans had compassion. The refugees had reason to fight. And together, they had become something terrifying. A united force the Empire had never prepared for. The war for compassion was about to begin. The sky over Earth was tearing apart. Not by lightning, not by storms, but by war. Through the ripped fabric of space, the Second Empire fleet arrived, bigger, heavier, and shaped like floating mountains of steel. Their engines burned like blue suns. Their presence made the oceans tremble and the clouds twist into violent spirals. Every human on Earth felt the weight of those ships. Every refugee felt the fear return to their bones. Mira stood inside the crisis center, watching the holograms. Her heart pounded like a drum. The Empire's reinforcement numbers kept increasing. 20, 40, 70 ships. She whispered, how can we fight this? But the answer was already rising across Earth. A hidden army awakens. At Camp Horizon, Taylor struggled to stand. Nurses tried to push him back onto the bed, but he shook his head. No, I must show you who we truly are. He stepped outside into the cold night air. The ground trembled from the arrival of the enemy fleet. Refugees gathered around him, thousands of them, their faces full of fear and hope. Taylor raised his voice, weak yet powerful. Listen to me. We did not come here as warriors. But that does not mean we are powerless. He pressed a glowing symbol on the band around his arm. And then everything changed. The device sent a silent pulse across Earth's atmosphere. Refugees gasped. Some instinctively straightened their backs. Others clenched their fists, as if remembering something lost long ago. Several refugees stepped forward, wearing old scars, battle scars. The refugees weren't only civilians. They were survivors of 9 destroyed civilizations. They were scientists forced to build weapons for the Empire. They were pilots who had stolen ships before the Empire caught them. They were soldiers who once fought for freedom and lost. Earth suddenly realized these refugees were not weak. They were a forgotten resistance army. The first spark of rebellion. Taylor's device continued to glow, and hidden memories awakened in the refugees. Old battle formations, Old alliance codes. Old unity chants. A small alien boy lifted a strange metallic cube, confused. The cube unfolded itself, forming a miniature shield made of hard light. Another alien woman reached into her torn cloak and pulled out a shimmering blade, long and elegant, hidden for years inside a false seam. A group of tall, crystalline aliens touched the ground, sending tiny pulses that mapped enemy ship frequencies through the soil. Earth soldiers watched in awe. Refugees weren't preparing to run. They were preparing to fight back. Humans joined the line. At a military base in Turkey, a human soldier handed a rifle to an alien soldier with trembling hands. "You know how to use this?" the human asked. The alien nodded. "I trained soldiers for over 20 years before the Empire burned my world." The human placed a hand on his shoulder. "Then fight with us." Across Europe, Africa, Asia, the Americas, something unbelievable was happening. Humans and alien refugees stood side by side, forming the largest mixed-species army in history. No one commanded them. No one forced them. They stood together because they wanted to. For the first time, humans realized something. The refugees weren't a burden. They were allies, warriors, heroes in hiding. And now, Earth was about to become their battlefield of freedom. Mira receives the truth. Back in the crisis center, Taylor arrived with 3 alien engineers and a hollow tablet covered in symbols. He placed it in front of Mira. "This," Taylor said, "is the Empire's weakness." Mira zoomed in on the tablet. Her eyes widened. The Empire fleet had one central control ship, a massive command vessel far bigger than the Dreadnought. Without it, the entire fleet would lose coordination, shields, and targeting systems. Rayhan leaned over Myra's shoulder. "This means if we take down the command ship." Taylor nodded. "The Empire collapses." Myra's breath caught. All these thousands of ships, all that power, and it all depends on one ship? "Yes," Taylor said. "They never thought their slaves would rise. They never believed kindness could turn into rebellion." He stepped closer. "But now they fear you. They fear humans. They fear compassion turned into strength." He placed his hand on Myra's wrist. "You gave us hope. Now, let us give you victory." The world chooses its fate. A global broadband alert went out. Every human soldier and every refugee warrior received the same message. Defend Earth. Defend each other. Fight as one. Cities dimmed their lights. Air bases prepared jets. Countries that once argued now shared weapons. Families prayed. Children were taken to underground shelters. Earth had never been this united. The refugees stood in front lines with humans. Thousands of alien fighters stood shoulder to shoulder with human defenders, forming a wall of mixed courage that the Empire had never seen. For the first time, humanity realized something powerful. They weren't protecting refugees anymore. They were fighting with them. The Empire makes its first move. In orbit, the Dreadnought lit up. Its cannons glowed like molten suns. The Empire commander's voice thundered across Earth. "You choose rebellion over surrender. Then you will die rebels." But humans did not shake. Refugees did not hide. Everyone watched the sky with fierce, burning determination. Mira whispered, "This is not rebellion. This is justice." Taylor whispered back, "And this is only the beginning." As the first blast of energy fired toward Earth, millions of humans and refugees charged forward together. The rebellion had begun, and it was no longer the Empire's war. It was humanity's uprising. The first shot of the Empire shook Earth's atmosphere. A beam of burning blue light, thick as a skyscraper, shot down from the Dreadnought. It cut through clouds, evaporated moisture, and turned the night sky white. People across continents looked up in fear as the beam fell like the judgment of a god. But the beam never reached Earth, because something impossible happened. A barrier of golden light appeared above the planet, shaped like a dome, rippling like water. The beam struck it and scattered into millions of harmless sparks. Children watching from shelters pointed upward, whispering, "Starlight, starlight." The shield glowed brighter. Taylor, standing beside Mira inside the crisis center, whispered, "It worked. The Crystari shield core survived. Mira turned to him. You had shield tech this whole time? Taylor shook his head. We had the knowledge, but humans gave us the courage to use it. She smiled slightly, then looked back at the sky. Humanity had survived the first strike. The Empire commander's voice echoed across every device again, now angrier, almost insulted. You dare block our fire, then we will break your shield and your spirit. But humanity had no plan of breaking. Earth strikes back. 3 global air bases, Nevada, Turkey, and Pakistan, launch jets simultaneously. F-16s, F-22s, JF-17s, Eurofighters, Raptors. Every aircraft the world had was roaring into the sky. But they weren't alone. Alien refugees ran behind them, holding strange metallic packs. When they activated them, wings of hard light unfolded from the devices, forming small personal flight rigs. Human pilots stared in shock. Can these things fly? One asked. A tall alien woman floated next to him, wings shimmering. They helped us escape our worlds, she said. Now we will help protect yours. Human jets took off. Alien flyers followed like glowing comets. For the first time, Earth's sky belonged to 2 species fighting as one. Inside the Empire fleet, up above, inside the Empire's dreadnought, the commander walked to a control chamber with fury burning in all 4 eyes. How is the shield still active? He barked. His officers trembled. Commander, the refugees Earth rescued, they appear to be former scientists and soldiers of our own defected ranks. The commander slammed his fist into the metal floor. We should have killed them all before dumping them. Another officer whispered, and humans, they are not acting like we predicted. They are helping each other. They are organized. They are united. The commander hissed. Humans are creatures of chaos. But unity makes them dangerous. He turned toward the window. Outside, thousands of human jets and alien flyers cut through the atmosphere, heading straight for the Empire fleet. They are coming, an officer reported. For their world, the commander said. He clenched his claw. And for our destruction. Humanity's courage spreads. Back on Earth, the shield dome flickered, losing strength. Mira rushed to the engineering deck of the crisis center. Crystari aliens sat around a large crystal core, channeling their energy to keep the shield alive. Their bodies glowed brighter with every second. They were burning their own life force to protect Earth. You'll die if you keep going. Mira shouted. A Crystari elder smiled softly. We lived our last days waiting to die in the Empire's cages. If we fall saving Earth, we die free. Mira felt tears sting her eyes. Human volunteers knelt beside the aliens. Some held their hands. Others offered water. One little girl placed a paper star on the floor, a drawing she made. For good luck, she said. The elder's crystal body glowed a little brighter. Humans and aliens kept the shield alive with pure willpower. But the Empire was preparing a second attack. The sky turns into a battlefield. Above the atmosphere, human jets formed diamond formations. Alien flyers weaved between them, carrying light blades and shield orbs. The air control general shouted through comms. All units, focus on the dreadnought. A Pakistani F-16 pilot replied, Roger that. Humanity and refugees going in together. Alien flyers laughed, a sound full of courage. We stand with you. Earth's mixed fleet raced upward like a storm. The Empire dreadnought fired thousands of plasma bolts. Human jets dodged with skill. Alien fighters deflected shots with energy shields. Explosions lit up the sky like fireworks. But the dreadnought was too strong. Its shields were too thick. Its firepower too heavy. Mira watched from the crisis center, hands trembling. We're hitting them, she whispered, but not enough. Taylor stepped beside her. Because we are not targeting their weakness. What weakness? He pointed at the hologram. Not the cannons. Not the engines. The mind of the ship. Mira frowned. Explain. Taylor touched the glowing band on his wrist. The command ship controls everything. Destroy it, and the entire fleet collapses. But only someone who knows their language can hack the command codes. He looked at Mira with determination. And that someone is me. Myra's eyes widened. You can hack their flagship? I could do more than that, Taylor said. I can shut it down. But you'll need to get close, Mira warned. Taylor nodded. That is why I'm not going alone. He turned toward the screen. Several alien soldiers and human pilots had already formed a second mixed squadron. Smaller, faster, more skilled. A strike team. A rebellion team. A hope team. Taylor whispered. This is the moment the galaxy will remember. The final push begins. The dreadnought charged its second world killer beam. Refugees held hands, terrified. Humans prayed. Children cried. The shield flickered again. Mira whispered, Please, someone stop that beam. Taylor stepped toward the launch deck, wings of bright blue light, unfolding from his pack. A human pilot saluted him. We'll get you there. Taylor smiled. We will get each other there. Above them, the dreadnought's beam reached critical power. Below them, billions of humans and refugees braced for impact. And between them, a small strike team rose into the sky, like a spark against darkness. The battle for compassion had begun. And this time, Earth was fighting to win. The world killer beam never touched Earth. Just seconds before impact, the sky lit up with a brilliant explosion, an explosion so bright that even people standing in underground shelters felt a light to the walls. The dreadnought's cannon shut down. Children peeked from hiding places. Refugees gasped. Volunteers dropped their blankets in shock. Mira stared at the hologram inside the crisis center as the impossible unfolded before her eyes. The Empire's most powerful ship, the Dreadnought, was losing control. Its engines flickered. Its shields collapsed. Its hull cracked like glass under pressure. What is happening? Rayhan whispered. Mira felt her chest tighten with hope. Taylor, she said. It has to be Taylor. White medium star, the strike team inside the beast. Far above Earth, deep inside the dreadnought, Taylor ran through burning corridors with a mixed strike team. 3 alien rebels, 2 human pilots, and a Crystari engineer whose glowing body lit the dark halls like a lantern. The Empire security drones fired plasma at them relentlessly, but human pilots shielded the aliens, and aliens deflected shots meant for humans. They fought without hesitation, protecting one another like one family. Taylor shouted over the alarms. Keep moving. The command core is 2 levels down. The Crystari engineer placed his hand on a metal wall. I can sense the power grid. It's unstable. One good shutdown and the entire ship will fall. A human pilot grinned. Perfect. Let's crash their monster. No, Taylor said. We must disable it, not destroy it. Why? The pilot asked. Taylor turned, eyes glowing. Because the galaxy must see how humanity wins. He placed a hand on his chest. Not with cruelty, not with fear, with compassion. The team quieted. Even the humans understood. This battle was not just war. It was a message. White medium star, Earth unites like never before. Back on Earth. Every city, every shelter, every camp paused to watch the sky. The golden shield flickered, then stabilized again as humans and Crystari worked together. People across the planet, billions of them, began chanting the same words without planning, without practice, without being told. A human child whispered it first. A refugee child repeated it. Soon the whole world said it. We stand together. On the mountains of Kashmir, in the streets of Chicago, on the beaches of Kenya, inside refugee camps in Brazil, in prayer rooms, schools, mosques, temples. Humans and aliens held hands. 2 species, 1 voice. The Empire, watching from orbit, trembled for the first time. White medium star inside the command core. The strike team reached a giant door, glowing with Empire symbols. This is it, Taylor said. The Crystari engineer pressed both palms to the door. Light pulsed through his body, down his arms, into the metal. The door melted open like wax under a flame. Inside sat the command core, a floating black sphere with blue veins pulsing like a heartbeat. This sphere controlled every ship in the Empire's fleet. Taylor stepped forward, removing the band from his wrist. This device contains the codes they used to enslave us, he said softly. Today it will free us. He placed the band on the sphere. The sphere screamed. Lights flickered. The ship shook. Every Empire vessel in orbit stuttered, like they were suddenly confused. A robotic voice boomed. Error! Error! Leadership override impossible. Taylor's hand shook, but he did not stop. This is for every world you burned. For every family you destroyed. For every child you left in chains. And for every human who showed us kindness when you offered cruelty. He pushed the device deep into the sphere. The core cracked. A wave of blue light exploded outward, washing over every ship in the Empire fleet. White medium star. The fleet falls silent. In orbit, thousands of Empire ships froze mid-air like statues. Cannons powered down. Engines dimmed. Shields dissolved. The commander's voice, once full of arrogance, now sounded terrified. What have you done? The fleet's lights flickered, then shut off completely. It was over. The Empire had been defeated, not by a weapon, not by fear, but by unity, by humans and refugees fighting together. White medium star of the galaxy hears humanity's voice. Mira stepped onto the balcony as dawn broke. The sky was peaceful, quiet, safe. Her voice broadcast across the planet and across the Empire's fallen fleet. Let the galaxy remember this day. When they sent us suffering, we answered with compassion. When they sent us fear, we answered with courage. When they tried to break us, we stood together. She looked at the millions of humans and refugees gathered across Earth. This is who we are. This is humanity. Her final line made history. You punished us with life, and we saved it. White medium star, the last scene. Hours later, Taylor stood beside Mira at the newly formed Earth Refugee Council. Humans and alien leaders sat together, planning a future with shared peace. The galaxy watched, shocked. A world once isolated had become a beacon of unity. Taylor said softly, "You changed us, Mira." Mira shook her head. "No, we changed each other." He smiled, and the stars will never forget. The camera of history zoomed out from Mira, from Earth, from the fallen Empire ships, from 6 million refugees who now had a home. Humanity had done the impossible. Kindness had won a war. Compassion had saved worlds. And humans had risen.